I was recently watching a video by Roosh in which he fielded questions from, I guess, Return of Kings readers. One reader asked him what he would do if he became president of the United States, and presumably with the way the United States law is evolving, or perhaps devolving, the assumption is that someone elected to the position of the President of the United States becomes the imperator for 4 years and can issue edicts without any other kind of legal process. So running on that assumption, that hypothetical assumption, Roosh said he would first dismantle the Federal Reserve, which I think would be a very good policy, and as such requires no further debate. He then went on to say that he would strip women of the vote on the grounds that women overwhelmingly vote leftist, and simply by removing the largest, generally leftist demographic from the voting franchise, America's fortunes would be greatly improved. Now, there is a problem with this, which is that, first of all, America already had such a society. And they didn't have to strip women of voting rights because the idea of a woman voting was inconceivable until the 20th century. So America already had it, and it's not as if men weren't red-pilled about women back in the day. But eventually, the principle of equality that de Tocqueville talks about in his book Democracy in America won out, as it always does in a democracy, and women got the vote. And if somehow dictator Roosh were to take the vote away from women, they would eventually get it back, and the whole process would begin all over again. And besides, if you want to deprive women of the vote because of the kind of parties they vote for, why not just ban certain policies, or why not just ban certain parties, rather than going the long way around? Of course, this is a problem, because the very same mechanism used to ban the parties can then be used to ban other parties, and so on and so on. Finally, Roosh said that the next thing he would do, the third act of his three, would be to ban Jews from the media. Maybe Roosh is channeling his inner kebab, but this seems to be an especially Arab approach to a complex problem. His motive for banning Jews from the media is that Jews are overwhelmingly leftist and are thus very powerful mouthpieces for leftist propaganda in the media. Okay, well, why stop at Jews? Why not extend the ban to Arabs? Why not extend the ban to blacks? Why not extend the ban to Scandinavian Americans, who seem to be such leftists that they've turned entire states blue? Not even the Jews have achieved this. Sure, Jews have done a lot, but they haven't turned entire states Democrat. That is thanks to Scandinavian Americans, the bluest of the blue eyes, the blondest of the blonde hair. Blonde hair.
I think banning Scandinavian Americans from voting would be a good first start. I mean, they are the most cucked whites around. I mean, you look at these people, they're fiercely loyal and proud of their heritage, but they're the most cucked people in America. On the second point, I hate to be a Roosh apologist, but where there is smoke, there is fire. I don't think this is necessarily anti-Semitism. So I like to coin a new term, a word that describes a person who is aware of Jews in his surroundings. He is conscious of Semites. He's semi-conscious. So you have these semi-conscious people walking around suggesting that Jews are involved in the media. Well, no shit. Where there is smoke, there is fire. There's Jews all over the media. Now, on that point, I do a lot of work in real estate here in America, and there are a lot of Christians in real estate. A lot of Christians in real estate. This is also known as the Good Old Boy Network. A lot of white Christian landowners. And we all know about those white Christian landowners, right? The problem is not Jewish people in the media. The problem is the perception of Jews in the media. The alt-right has the same problem with that leftists have. It's a problem of defining their allies. Leftists are racists. They automatically assume that a particular race will be their allies, usually based on the color of their skin: blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, apparently all leftist allies. Now, on the alt-right, we assume that certain groups will not provide allies: Jews, blacks, Arabs. Is that racism? Maybe. I'd also like to introduce another word: culturalism. I didn't make this up. I hear it a lot, and I don't think it's in any college courses yet. But I hear it a lot because I used to work in retail, and I live in the Seattle Bellevue area where there's a lot of H-1B visas, a lot of people from a lot of imported migrant labor that Microsoft and Google brings in. So culturalism is the thing out here. And I usually hear it from white women. And what it means is an aversion to other cultures. So just throwing that out there as well.